It's Kimberly from Vegas Kid Zone, and I've been getting lots of questions, so I thought I'd reach out to my friend, Realtor Dave NV. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, Kimberly? I'm doing great.
Yeah, it's been a really hot market, and actually I've been turning today for quite some time to get information on real estate market because it is a big hot deal out here. And I have people coming in from around the world buying sight unseen, and I go, Dave, help us out. So I thought, let's just do it, sit down and talk together. And I saw you last week on the Junkie group.
That was yeah, thanks. It's a great podcast over on YouTube, and I think they do it audio as well, but it's much more fun to watch YouTube. But it's EXP live from Las Vegas. It's put together by the Junkie Group, some EXP fellow Synergy community members, and I got to be on episode number 5, so I was very excited.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And I sent that around a little bit, and I still got more questions from my group saying, hey, they want to know some tips on how to buy in this market.
Sure. Now, locals buying in the market or people coming from out of town? Because it's a little bit different.
Right. I've got 2 groups here. So I get a lot of emails from people from out of town. So we want to start there.
Sure. So out of towners, I love out of towners because I always get the same answer to the very first question I ask is, how well do you know Las Vegas? Well, I know the Strip, or insert favorite casino hotel here, and it's great, and we love our tourism economy, so it's not surprising. But what I tend to do is I like to have something similar to this, have a video conference call, and then I pull up a map of Las Vegas, the entire valley, and I kind of show them, this is the different parts of town, and this is what they're known for. And then it becomes a conversation, and this where it kind of overlaps into locals as well as folks coming in. What's important to you? What specifically is the needle mover for you? If it's schools, it's, within a certain radius of a place where you work. Some folks are on call, so they need to be within, 10 to 15 minutes of their place. So all of these items of information are absolutely imperative to trying to figure that out. So specificity is 100% on point. Taking time before you really get started to get qualified, so we know exactly how much purchasing power you have. And then if there's anything that's you're bringing with you that's an absolute must, that is a non-movable, this is coming. For example, let your agent know. For example, I had a lady who had a 16-person dining room table, so it was a family heirloom. So we were looking at houses, and my dining room table is never going to fit in here. Hold, this is the first I'm hearing of this. What's this? It's a 16-person table. The thing was like 15 feet long. I'm like, you take out 25% of the houses in the market. So specificity is good. Let your real estate agent know if there's anything that's really unique to your purchase that you need, where you want to be, what's important to you. You put together a great checklist for us too, in terms of things to think about and make sure you have ready for your purchase. So those are some of the things that I ask about right up front, in town, out of town.
Thanks, Dave. Actually, yeah, I really had fun putting that checklist together because I asked my group too, like, what questions do you have? Then I turned to Dave and we kind of melded them together. And I put that in with the trip planner, or not the trip planner, the moving planner. And
which is outstanding. That thing is on point.
We had so much fun designing it. And if you email me at kim@vegaskidzone.com, I'll give it to you for free. So just, I know, but only for a limited time.
And it's not just one of those ones that's off the cuff. She actually made sure that we were on point. Like, this is okay. What do you see that needs to be tweaked? What would you add? And it's really come from a place of a guy who's helped thousands of people, and then from an awesome designer who said, okay, this is a good way to make it flow, because you and I have worked together, so you've gone through the experience as well.
Right. And we heard a lot of people just saying, I wish I'd had this, I wish I'd known that, that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
What are some surprises out there in the market? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I guess now everything's good's gone. I'm going to get a tiny backyard. There's not going to be a lot of choices out there.
Yeah. So it's, and it's all in what you read, right? So I actually just was talking to a friend at lunch the other day, and he said, there's actually ways that you can Google that will cause your answers to change. And the wording is tiny, but the difference in your search results is ridiculous. Like you put in there housing shortage.
Mm.
Boom, all you're going to get is articles that say there's a housing shortage. If you put in there, is this a housing shortage? Then you're going to get more sides of the conversation. Like some people are, people like me, the biggest one is this a real estate bubble? I'm not in
Yeah.
that camp of it being a bubble. But long story over, I forgot your question.
Because we hear a lot that there's the yards are small and I'm not gonna have a lot
What's
of choices.
surprising? You're right.
And yeah, and I'm like, I've seen some houses out there that I'm like, maybe we should put our house on the market.
For certain. Okay, so what you asked was what's surprising. So what is surprising is that still, on a monthly basis, 2,000 to 3,000 homes are changing hands. So whether or not you consider that a shortage or not, being over here, it's maybe you have fewer choices, but there's still a lot of people still buying and selling real estate because a lot of folks are saying, well, I'm going to sit on the sidelines. It's like, well, you are, but there's 3,000 other people that didn't. So maybe don't do that. And then some surprising things were there were plenty of I had a California buyer in that I was out with yesterday, and we had 7 houses to look at. And if that's a housing shortage, listen, I say 3 or 4 and we should be done, if I've done my homework correctly. But they were learning the valley, so we needed to see a little more different areas for them to get familiar with the city. Again, another one that knew the strip but not much else. So point being is the surprising thing is if you want to buy, there are homes out there to buy.
And when it comes to that, we've talked about specificity, but also what should they look for in a realtor? What questions should they have together before they go and dial that number and call somebody?
Fantastic question. One of the biggest questions you're going to ask them is, how long have you been in the business, right? So the folks that have joined the association, whether a realtor or just getting their real estate license, there's a difference between the two. So let's start there. A realtor has a higher set of standards that they're held to. There's biannual as well as every renewal period ethics classes that a realtor needs to take, pass, and show that they've taken to remain in the association, right? And then there's a real estate licensee, someone who's just gone to the state, past the state, and they can buy and sell real estate. They just don't have the extra credential of being a realtor, right? So you really want to work with a realtor. It's an ethics thing, and that's the biggest differentiator in between the two. Next, you're going to ask them is, how long have you been in the business? So if you've been in the business since, say, 2011 and forward, you've only been in a market that's kind of done this, right? It's kind of done that, and then it's really kind of accelerated, and it's crazy. Sometimes you could just stick a sign in the yard and the house sells in a day. Now, those folks not have been through the times where it was down like this and homes are staying on the market 6, 8, 9, 12 months at a time. It's not something that used to. So you want to have somebody who's got the experience that it takes to survive a tough market, as well as just being able to put together a good offer in this seller's market to get your offer accepted. So that only comes with time and good mentorship. And I would say that those are the key questions that you're going to want to ask. And then you just ask for some of their past clients. If ask for permission to call a couple of people that they've helped, and ask both sides, sell side and buy side. Some people kind of specialize. I'm an 80-20 mix of buyers to listings. So I have experience on both sides. Lastly, any other outside real estate experience. For example, I started my career in mortgages. So I've got that kind of arrow in my quiver. And way back when I was a little guy, I worked with my mother in her title company. So all 3 aspects of the 3 key components of a real estate transaction, I have that experience in a practical sense. So you're going to want to, how long have you been in the business? Are you a realtor? And then do you have any other outside experience within real estate besides just, buying and selling?
That's awesome. I had not heard that before, actually. That's really good advice.
Thanks.
Actually, that's going to be great for my teen career advice series, which I have a lion tamer, magicians, a marketing director, and now a realtor. You're going to help me out? You're going to do my Q&A?
I'll absolutely help. But with that kind of a lineup, the kids are going to be like, you have a lion tamer, and then, hey, I want to help you sell your house.
I'm going to surprise you. I've had some recent graduates who were like, what about this real estate market? Is there something in there for me at 18 years old? Where do I start? What do I do? Is this even a thing? I'm like, let's find out. You know me.
Absolutely. Well, I'd love to do that. And there's absolutely a spot for 18-year-olds. No question.
Excellent. Well, I think that's just about it, unless there's anything else you would like to share with our audience.
No, I would like to share this. So if you're considering buying or selling, talk to somebody. Don't sit there and kind of sit, how we kind of stew in our own juices is, you see what you see, and then algorithms set up things in your feeds to kind of feed into your opinion. If you think it's this crazy bubble, talk to somebody who's got a differing opinion. If you're thinking about buying, but you don't think there's enough houses to buy, please get in touch with somebody and have the conversation. If you get the right person on the other side of the conversation, you're going to get a good, well-rounded market snapshot. And guys like me absolutely love to help, clearly love to chat and talk about real estate. So that's that would be the last parting gift, is just talk to somebody if you're even considering it. Doesn't have to be like right now, but just kind of get an idea of what's going on, even if it's your home value, what the market increase has done for your home. You could guess, or you could go on one of the iBuyer sites, but most of them are actually in the business of buying low and then turning around and selling your house high. So their estimates have decreased to reflect that. So
That's interesting.
yeah, so get into conversation with guys and ladies who love to talk real estate like I do.
I love talking about real estate too. And actually, we've been friends a long time. And we were in the middle of like redesigning our kitchen. We were about to put the final touch, like the final money down on the final touches type thing. And Dave's like, why are you redesigning your kitchen when you can have a whole new kitchen? I'm like, you're crazy. And sure enough, it's like, it made more financial sense to simply buy a new house. And here we are. And it was so fun, though. It was so interesting. And we didn't realize what was out there. We thought, well, we couldn't afford this, or because the market was crazy then too. And sure enough, we, ended up finding a lovely place and really fit our growing family. So.
And it was wonderful to be a part of that process. That was a great time. And I love that you guys call it the Goldilocks house, because it was just right. I just love that.
Not too big, not too small.
Right.
Well, thank you, Realtor Dave NV. Always good to talk to you. And I'm thinking we'll be probably doing this once a month, because I do continually get questions, and the market is not going anywhere.
It certainly isn't, and it changes. And I thank you for having me. This has been great, and it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Great. Well, this will be on Vegas Kids Zone, and I'll talk to you soon.